Hello, St. Michael's friends and family. It's so good to be with you today. As we continue our journey through Mental Health Awareness Month, I have the honor of speaking with Cathryn Nacario, the CEO of NAMI San Diego, to tell us a little bit more about what NAMI is doing right here in our own community for those in need. Let's get her on the call. Hi, Cathryn. Thank you so much for being with us today. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me on today so we can talk a little bit about NAMI San Diego and the things we're still able to do out in the community.
Yeah, we're really glad that you're able to be here and kind of give us that local community insight. So you are the CEO of NAMI San Diego, correct?
Correct. I've been with NAMI San Diego almost 3 years now. So I finally feel like I actually know a bit about the great stuff our organization does, because we really do so much tremendous work throughout the entire region and all 6 regions of San Diego County. And sometimes it's even hard to stay on top of all the things that are going on, that's for sure.
Yeah. So how did you originally get involved with NAMI?
Actually, I got involved by applying for the job.
Okay.
So I'm a registered nurse by background originally, and I've always loved working with vulnerable populations. And I do believe that those who are impacted by mental health conditions are definitely a vulnerable population. So it's always been my passion to really work with the underserved, advocacy, making sure that folks are getting the care that they're entitled to, and that it's quality care, it's patient-centered care or human-centered care. Being a nurse, I use patient a lot instead of client or consumer. But it's always been a passion of mine of working in more also the public health arena as well. And I had been an executive with a large healthcare company and saw this position open up. And it was honestly my first contact with NAMI when I applied for the CEO position.
Well, that's great. I think that connection between, physical health and mental health is so important. And having a nursing background, that must be helpful, I imagine, in your position.
Yes, very much so, very much so.
Especially right now with the pandemic going on. I know everyone's been impacted in one way or another. What impact have you seen among or of the NAMI organization itself and among the population that you serve or the people that you interact with?
It's very similar to what a lot of other folks are working with and dealing with right now, especially when we had to move everybody to more remote status for most of our programs, not all of our programs, because some of our programs are still very community facing. They're open in the community as well. But it was making that transition from being an organization where it's so collaborative and you can just walk down the hallway or drive over to a other location and really talk about what needs to either be opportunities, what can change, what needs to happen, to going to this remote environment, which really created a lot of anxiety, not only for myself, but our staff, making sure everybody was safe in where they were and what they were doing. And then we had the flip side too, of individuals that were still out in the community. For example, our hospital staff were still very much working, and they currently are at the County Psych Hospital down in Rosecrans. Our clubhouse down on 16th Street is still open and operational. We've not had any significant downtime there. Our IHOT team up in North County is still working and community facing out on the street. So really it's affected everybody a little bit differently. We have individuals who are really feeling the need to go back, get out in the community, make those connections that just can't happen at this point. It's so different doing a person-to-person connection versus just via Zoom or a telephone call or texting. And I think everybody's so at this point, we're really craving that just interpersonal one-on-one in person to be able to do that. Then we have the opposite. We have some individuals who are like, you know what, I'm great right now. I'm feeling safe. This is okay with me. And just making sure that we're appreciating everybody and all the work that they're doing. So, our staff and how we're kind of working through this time is very similar to what everybody else is doing in the community as well. You get a little, itchy to get outside and antsy to do things as well. And it's allowed us to be really creative, which is a great thing.
Yeah, I was curious about the programming that you're offering online. I've heard a lot about this Wellness Wednesdays thing that you
Mhm.
guys have been doing. Would you speak to that just for a minute?
Yes. So our Wellness Wednesday has come out of our inability at this point to do in-person ENA meetings. And I like St. Michael's, you guys host a very, very robust ENA meeting. And that was just kind of getting back up online in North County when all this kind of hit. So we decided, because where we've held other ENAs, we've seen a dip in attendance aside from your folks up there. And we're like, okay, how can we do this a little differently? Where can we capture the most individuals, provide the most information, and what really worked well in the past as well? So that's where Wellness Wednesday came up. And so we, on Wednesdays at 1 o'clock, we have a topic from 1 to 2 p.m. And then we were able to partner back with UCSD's community psychiatry program and do an Ask the Doc segment. That's where we have, typically it's Dr. Steve Coe come on, and he answers questions, everything ranging from medication management to specifics about certain brain disorders. It's really an open forum. And, you know, obviously being on Zoom, you do have the option for being anonymous. You could have your camera on, so it can be more of a private setting as well. You don't have to post your name, or you can post a name that's not your name as well. But we found that that's really, that's been extraordinarily helpful. And what's even more exciting is that we've been working with Alliant International University for the past 2 years to create a video series, podcast series, and blog called The Mind Collective. So now we started incorporating that into Wellness Wednesdays. It launched on May 13th. So every other Wednesday, you'll have an hour of The Mind Collective. And what's really unique about this perspective in this hour is that it takes an educational clinical perspective and a person with lived experience and melds the two together. So we talk more about, you know, the technical components, maybe some of the nuances of a topic about a brain disorder. And then we have somebody with that lived experience coupled with that clinician professor talking about that. And then we still have our Ask the Doctor. So we're really excited about that. And this is a program we plan on keeping moving forward and going even after we go back to our normal not stay at home orders, and we're back in the offices and so forth. What we found, which is really kind of neat, is that as we're holding online support groups and we're holding these Wellness Wednesdays, we're actually getting a little bit more participation. And that could be due for a variety of reasons. But one of the things we would like to think is that for sometimes it's hard for an individual who has to take public transportation or find childcare to get out midday because they work, or it's 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock in the evening to go ahead and go to the support group, and they're out very late and they got to get up and go to work the next morning, again, or arrange for childcare. That it offers just another alternative for somebody who would like to participate in maybe a manner that for them may work best because it's a little easier to access.
That's great that people are taking advantage of these, and that you'll be able to kind of, you know, meld the two, the in person and the virtual once things, you know, get back a little bit closer to normal, whatever that's going to be.
Exactly. Exactly. We're like to call it, going to be a hybrid model for what we're going to be doing, the way our services are being offered. And, you know, out of every kind of challenge comes an opportunity. We did take our helpline down for a couple of weeks. And then because we had staff who were working remotely and others that kind of really we had to reframe what they were doing, we were able to staff our helpline with peer and family support specialists instead of just solely volunteers. So it's just been a neat way to look at things a little differently and provide even a little bit more of a robust service to our community.
That's great. Well, you know, at St. Michael's, we're dealing with some of those same things. How do we use our creativity to make opportunities for connection for people? But one of the things that we usually would be doing at this time of the year is our annual NAMI fundraiser, which we've done. I'm not even sure how many years we've done. But I wanted to let you know that our vestry met last night, and they have decided they found some funds that we can use to help continue to support NAMI during this time. So we'll be making a donation of $1,000 to help support you. I know you'll put it to great use. So we're really excited and honored to be able to continue to partner with you guys.
Thank you so much. That is so vital to us right now, especially since our annual walk, which was supposed to happen last month, could not occur. So we'll be doing a virtual walk on May 30th. So you can log on. It'll be streaming live on Facebook as well as our walk website. So, we are anticipating, it is our largest fundraiser of the year, and we're anticipating about a 60% decrease in the amount of funds that are normally raised for this event. So that is so great. We're so grateful for the $1,000 donation from St. Michael's. It really was helpful to us, that's for sure.
Well, we're more than happy to be able to help out that way. If people do want to participate in the walk, what's the best way for them to get connected with that? You mentioned Facebook.
Yep,
and then
Facebook, but also just go onto our website. We still have a link to our walk webpage, which you can still register for the walk if you'd like. You can still join a team if you'd like for the walk. And so it'll be about an hour to an hour and a half event on Saturday morning, the 30th, from 8 to 9:30. We'll have a whole bunch of pre-recorded videos. We still have Carla Chiquetto from Channel 8 News, who's going to be our MC for the morning.
Oh, great.
You'll have the ability to live chat and text as well. So we will have a host who's there that day. And so it's just going to be, I really needed that. It's our first go around at it. So hopefully it'll go very smoothly. We have done one other virtual event so far with our Children's Family Youth and Liaison program for our annual children's celebration. That went very well. So we're using some of the same models for that. So it's an exciting time, and hopefully we will be able to provide some great information. We will still also have a virtual kind of wellness fair as well. And that is something that was always very, very popular. And it is actually the largest mental health wellness fair in the county. That's a part of our walk every year. So we do have some participation with organizations who will be having slides up about the services that they provide and how to reach them as well. Or if individuals want to know how to access all of our support groups in our classes or our Parents Empowering Parents, that's all on our website as well. You just go to our calendar and everything is listed on our calendar and how to access everything through Zoom.
Great. Well, thank you for being with us. We appreciate all the information and resources, and we're supporting you virtually. Do you have, before we leave, do you have any words of wisdom? As I mentioned earlier, this pandemic has kind of impacted all of us in one way or another. And for those who might be experiencing more anxiety or depression or any other kind of new challenge that has come up because of this, do you have any advice or anything for us?
For us, it's still with knowing that you're not alone, that there are resources out there. We are here for you. We will get back to you if we don't answer a phone right away or an email right away, but there are so many resources available that we can help connect you to, either whether you need to connect for telehealth services that are beyond our capabilities, again, the support, that you truly are not alone during this time, and to practice your self-care, really make that a priority, very much so, make that a priority. Keep your routines as close to normal as possible, and just be kind to yourself.
Great. Well, thank you again for being with us, and I look forward to talking with you more in the future. It was really great chatting.
Thank you so much, and thank you to St. Michael's for the years and years of partnership that we've had. We appreciate all of the support that you've given us for, I think it's been well over a decade now, if not more. Thank you so much.
Thank you.